Assalamu alaikum. Welcome. This is my first English speaking video. I'd like to discuss today my views on Kuwait's public debt law. The first law was introduced in 2007 and it was valid for 10 years, which expired 2017. Prior to expiry, Kuwait issued its inaugural bond issue for $8 billion. In 2018, they tried to introduce the new Kuwait public debt law, pushing the tenor from 10 years to 30 years and the amounts from 10 billion KD to 20 billion KD. It was rejected again because the parliament thought that we don't need to borrow. Again, it was resubmitted in January of this year, and basically they didn't do a good job and preparing the general public about the purpose, why and how they're going to use the borrowed funds. And although they had all the information available, because they have the debt management office and they have advisors who've been working closely with them for the past few years. I think the main purpose, the main reason is the leadership at the top, which is had sort of a huge turnover, 6 ministers of finance within the last 6 months or so. Where does Kuwait stand today? Kuwait has started the year with a budget with 9 billion KD in deficit. And the general reserves have been depleted. I think over the past 3 or 4 years, they have used almost 45 billion KD, which amounts to about $150 billion to cover the deficit, and the budget. There's the confusion with the general public is between the balance sheet deficit as opposed to the general financial condition of the government, the general of the state of Kuwait. The general financial condition is mainly what we have under the ground in terms of hydrocarbon wealth, as well as the investments that we have abroad. However, we're talking about the differences between expenditures and income revenues. Income revenues, since December 2019, the oil prices have dropped by almost 60%, which meant the budget was made on the assumptions of $55. Today the price is what, $25? So that's a drop of around 40%. And what's to cover up for this deficit? Of course, Kuwait has to undergo some kind of financial restructuring, economic restructuring. They need to review the subsidies. They have to do major sort of job on the economy. However, one of the tools that's required is the ability to borrow, and that's what's missing. What's going to happen? I think eventually it's going to be approved, but it will take up sort of a lot of convincing and some political maneuvering. But hopefully, I think by the end of this year, we should see Kuwait coming to the market. Thank you.